Hi, thank you for stopping by. My name is Erica Aguilar and I am an educator at heart. I was born to learn and to guide others in the learning process. The idea today and here is to share with parents, students, teachers, and all stakeholders in education to engage in critical discourses in educational pedagogy and andragogy as it relates to literacy, language, and culture. Today, I will briefly talk about youths, who are youths, how I was viewed as a youth. I will also talk about literacy. What is literacy and how does it work? Are we equipping our youth with relevant literacy? And we're going to look at preparing our youth with digital literacy. And lastly, pedagogy as it relates to youths. Understanding pedagogy to activate change in youths. So let's start with the big question. Who are youths? Have you ever decided to look up the definition? In essence, these definitions on youth are fluid. We know youth is a social construct. Many organizations such as UN, UNESCO, UNHCR have their own definition of youths. Mainly, what resonates in common is that an adolescent is someone at the age of 10 to 19, young people at the age of 10 to 24, youth are people at the age of 15 to 24, as in transition into adulthood. If we're not careful, we can compartmentalize these stages, giving rise to labeling and stereotypes. I was reading an article written by Dr. Nancy Lesko, a professor in education. In her article, Past, Present, and Future Concepts of Adolescence, she takes a critical look in how age and time transgresses the linear time-bound characters of youth by working across past, present, and future, invoking what some term a postmodern conception of time. It's a wonderful article to read if you're interested in how youth were viewed and are viewed today. All educational stakeholders need to understand where these stereotypes, biases, and misconceptions of who youths are began, and how these views shape our present ideas of who youths are, what limitations they still have, and what can be done to rectify these limitations to empower youths. If we're not careful of our definition and perception, we might allow all the attitudes and misconceptions that come with labels. Labels such as youths are imprisoned, voiceless, helpless, encapsulated, unfortunate beings who cannot control what happens to them. All those labels, we need to be careful. My definition of youths is youths encompass adolescents and young people who need attention, need to belong, need to be involved, need to be loved, and above all, need to be treated humanely as you would treat adults, because they too have the potential, the resources, and the creativity to impact their communities or the world. Having defined who youths are, then we can look at how to help them. My role is to develop the skills of youths by employing their skills, experiences, and intelligences to further develop who they are, to continue on their quest for knowledge, and to fulfill their purpose, contributing and building their social spaces. How was I viewed as a youth? Think about it. How were you viewed as a youth? For me, my youth began in foster homes. As a child, I was raised in a dysfunctional home and attended a Catholic primary school. Fate did not see to it that my parents raised me in foster homes. I still read the Bible, which helped shape the way I saw myself. I was mostly antisocial. However, I want you to pay attention to the fact that I mentioned the Bible because I will soon talk about literacy. When I was in high school, I saw the way teachers are conditioned to think in dichotomies. Youths are viewed as dependent on parents, vulnerable people who are at risk and easily influenced if they're not, if they don't have a healthy relationship with parents or have a dysfunctional home. On the other hand, once a youth comes from a well-to-do family, we automatically think positive things because he or she might have access and maybe actively engage in many other extracurricular activities, adding to that youth's secondary discourses. We'll talk about discourses later. And as a result, it enriches his or her identity and roles in various social spaces. So looking back as a foster youth, I was always critical and paid keen attention to understanding my foster parents' perception of me as a youth by simply listening and watching. I told you I was antisocial. It was a defense mechanism. It worked well. I mentioned Dr. Nancy Lesko earlier because she has it right. She wrote, I felt that as a youth, I was seen as a pet, wild person that needs taming, a lost soul that needs saving, and a victim. My friends would say that their parents saw them as inconsiderate, I asked them, a dependent that keeps asking spending without contributing to the household. So many wanted to leave their homes as soon as they celebrated 18 years old. Imagine that. Because of these social constructs, some youths live up to these limiting perceptions. The self-fulfilling prophecy, I'm sure you've heard about it. As a result, youths develop and carry unnecessary trauma and baggage into adulthood. In addition, because of these misguided perceptions, society does not welcome or allow social spaces specifically dedicated and designed for youths. In Belmopan, youths have a space only if they belong to a church, join a summer program, or if their parents are financially able to enroll them in extracurricular activities, or if they're boys, they have football fields or basketball courts. In essence, a youth is a person who is all that he or she can be if we are willing to guide them without judgments. And when I say we, I mean someone and anyone who spent time with them.